Hello, let's create a Patronus image in Photoshop. As you can see, I've already done an eagle, and here is also a picture of an owl. So we're going to achieve this look using this bird. So this is just a free stock image of Adobe. Now we're going to make the canvas. So you can do whatever size canvas you want, but for this one I'm going to do 4000 by 5000 pixels. And we have our blank canvas ready. Now we're going to invert this canvas because we want the back to be black so we can see that glowing Patronus. And then I'm just going to go back to this image and remove the background and drag my bird across. Now with these you don't need to worry too much about the cutout. It doesn't matter if you've got that halo on your image because it's going to be there anyway when you create the glow. Now, so we've got our cutout of our bird, and we're going to go down the bottom to the panel and we're going to change it to black and white. So we're going to get rid of that color. Now I want to clip it onto the bird, so you can either use the panel here to clip it, or you can do Command G. And then we're going to go back into our bottom panel and do another layer and do an invert layer. Again, we're going to clip that onto the bird. So your bird has now two clips on it. It's got the black and white and it's got the invert. Then we're going to use Shift click and get all those layers together, and we're going to make them into a smart object. Now, this is where the magic starts to happen. So we're going to go up the top to the filters menu. And if you scroll down to filter gallery, it's going to open up this window. And you want to make sure that you're on that glowing edges workspace. So on the side here, it doesn't matter how far what number you've got each of these slides on, because each image is going to be different, but I do find that the further they are towards the end, so where I had those slides, the better it looks. And there you go, you've got it. We're going to go back in and we're going to go into the stylize and go down to oil paint, and this is where we'll tidy it up a bit. I'm just going to zoom out so I can see the image. Okay, again, doesn't matter where the number is, you just need to play around. Each image is going to require a different number, but I do find that most of the time I have to take the sliders all the way to the right of the screen. And just trying to work out how bright I want it there. Okay, that looks good. Going to go back into the filter menu, back onto oil paint, and so we're doing this a second time. And this is really giving us this soft look. And again, just play around with these sliders till you're happy with how it looks. I'm quite happy with how that one looks. Okay. Now we are going to, we've got this layer that's we've done a couple of filters on now, and now I'm going to copy this layer. So you can do Command J. I want to do 2 copies of this layer, and I'm going to put them underneath the main layer. So I'm going to drag them underneath, but first I'm going to go in and change that layer out of being a smart object. So I just have 2 single layers. I'm just going to turn off one of them. Sometimes I use 2, sometimes I use 1. And we're going to go in and use a blur and do a motion blur. This saves you a lot of time if you do this, because as you can see, it kind of gives that magic glow on the edges without having to hand paint it in. Now we're just going to shift it slightly. And there you go. You've got that magic sort of glow happening around that bird. Now we are going to colour our bird, so just go into the hue saturation layer, click colorize and just choose the colour that you want your bird to be. I usually go for that blue, light blue kind of tinge. And then we are going to go underneath and create a little bit of magic underneath this bird. I don't want to put it on top, I'm going to put it underneath. So this is one of the brushes that I created. It's a magic dust brush. Please comment below if you want me to show you how I made this, or you can just find an image that looks very similar. I'm just going to speed through this, so just creating that sort of dust look underneath the bird, and I changed the layer to screen. Now I'm also going to change the bird layer to screen, so that's the main layer. And merge all those layers together. And there we go, we have our glowing bird. Now using the smudge tool at about 50%, I'm just going to smooth out all the edges. And then I'm just going to go back into my blur, motion blur, and just that this is the second layer that I didn't blur earlier, so let's just create a bit more of a blur on that one. So I have 2 layers underneath that are blurred, and I always go back in with these layers underneath and just using a masking brush. I just take out the parts that I don't want around the face and usually the front of the animal. And now I'm just going to go in with a few of my magic brushes. Again, please comment below if you want me to show you how I make these brushes. I'm not going to go into it on this video, but I'm going to speed up this bit, and I'm just going to add in all little bits of magic around the bird just to give it that effect, end effect. Now here is our finished Patronus. So let's stamp that layer together, Command Option Shift E, and then we're going to invert that layer, so Command I, and we're just going to open up another blank canvas and drag that one layer across. And there we go, just pop it in the middle of the screen so we're not cutting off any edges. Beautiful. And then we're going to go into the edit bar, we're going to scroll down, define brush preset, and you can see on the side there you've got your preset brush, and just name it. So you will always have this Patronus available. You don't have to then keep creating it. And because it's a brush, you'll be able to change colors, you'll be able to manipulate it a little bit more to how you want it. So let's go back in and see what it looks like. Make it a bit smaller, and there we go, there's your little Patronus brush of a bird. Now if you want that white that you've got going on the larger image, all you have to do is just do 2 layers of the brush. So you do one in the blue, and then we'll do another layer in white on top of that first layer. And then you can change the blending mode. And once you change the blending mode, you can erase the parts of the white that you don't want there. So you can do that by adding a clipping mask or just using the eraser tool. Either doesn't matter. Just use a soft round brush, and I usually will take the white off around the face and probably around the feet a bit and keep it on the wings. And there you go, you have a really quick, simple Patronus that took like 10 minutes or something to make, and you can go creating this and make other brushes. Hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below if you have any questions, and come and visit me at Alesseslens on Instagram. Bye!